Yeah, welcome back to Developer Commentary Day. Let's get to it. I wonder if continue goes into the developer content. You know what? I'm just gonna go in through the straight cold boot section here. I think. Alrighty.
Sorry about the mess. I've really let the place go since you killed me. By the way, thanks for that.
GLaDOS originally was a lot more cutting in these opening rooms. Given that she's talking to someone she perceives as her murderer, playtests revealed, though, that it was a bit grueling getting browbeaten by GLaDOS this early in the game, so her arc was rewritten to give her more of a slow burn towards the player.
Slow burn.
Not bad. I forgot how good you are at this. You should pace yourself, though. We have a lot of tests to do.
I guess there's some testing to do.
This next test involves discouragement redirection cubes. I just finished building them before you had your, well, episode. So now we'll both get to see how they work. There should be one in the corner.
Hey, Weezy. Well, so no, oh, I guess I need to grab that then too, huh? Well, hold on. Let's do this first.
Well done. Here we weren't even testing for that.
I'm even testing for horrible personness. I guess that's the only bubble there. So
Don't let that horrible person thing discourage you. It's just a data point. If it makes you feel any better, science has now validated your birth mother's decision to abandon you on a doorstep.
oh, it's the same one. Never mind. Fix this, GLaDOS. Oh wait, that's right. This is stand on this. Okay, thanks. Got it. Where's the other one? Oh, it's up there. Okay. Let me do.
Congratulations.
Hey, that was
Not
pretty
on
quick.
the test. Most people emerge from suspension terribly undernourished. I want to congratulate you on beating the odds and somehow managing to pack on a few pounds.
Aww. Aw, crud. I'm gonna have to screw up the... Alright. I was hoping... Where are all the commentaries? I want to play this for the commentary, and there's very little commentary. Look at me complaining about a feature in a game that's completely optional. I guess we'll see.
One moment. You are navigating these test chambers faster than I can build them, so feel free to slow down and do whatever it is you do when you're not destroying this facility.
Are there really no blasted? Ugh. Oh, it's right here. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that, I think. And move over a little bit here. Boop, boop.
I'll give you credit. I guess you are listening to me. But for the record, you don't have to go that slowly. Waddle over to the elevator and we'll continue the testing.
Waddle. Slow burn is correct. Where are the nodes? Only one node in 3 chambers. Lame.
This next test involves
About
the
time.
Aperture Science aerial.
This was the
Shut up.
first test map that we created when we started to experiment with the aerial faith plate puzzle element. The map underwent many visual refinements, but it's one of the few puzzles that remained almost completely unchanged from its first form.
That was it. Yeah, that's it. Where's the faith plate? Oh, it's right there. Ah. Here we go, and there we go.
Here's an interesting fact. You're not breathing real air. It's too expensive to pump this far
Oh my
down.
god,
We
one
just take carbon dioxide out of the
flippin'
room, freshen it up a little, and pump
developer
it back
node.
in. So
Lame.
you'll be breathing the same room full of air for the rest of your life. I thought that was interesting. Let's see what the next test is. Oh, advanced aerial faith plates. Well, have fun soaring through the air without a care in the world. I have to go to the wing that was made entirely of glass and pick up 50
The catapult
acres of
trajectory
broken
lines seen
glass.
here allow us to visualize where the catapult will deliver a player or a physics object. We can differentiate the speed and trajectory for players and other objects. The yellow lines are for physics objects, and green is the player's trajectory. Sometimes we need to have a different value to accommodate the shape of the object being catapulted. What works for the player may not work for an object, and vice versa. For instance, it was common for a box to make it to a ledge while the player would smack into the side, and then fall down into the slime. The visualization tools helped us debug these types of problems.
That's kind of neat. Ah, front. Crud. You know what? I'll do this.
The catapult trajectory lines seen here allow us to visualize where the catapult will deliver a player or a physics object. We can differentiate the speed and trajectory for players and other objects. The yellow lines are for physics objects, and green is the player's trajectory. Sometimes we need to have a different value to accommodate the shape of the object being catapulted. What works for the player may not work for an object, and vice versa. For instance, it was common for a box to make it to a ledge while the player would smack into the side, and then fall down into the slime. The visualization tools helped us debug these types of problems.
Huh. Never thought about doing this. That's actually kind of interesting.
Oh, sorry. I'm still cleaning out the test chambers, so sometimes there's still trash in them, standing around, smelling and being useless. Try to avoid the garbage hurtling towards you. Remember before when I was talking about smelly garbage standing around being useless?
Hey, you got an achievement.
That was a metaphor. I was actually talking about you. And I'm sorry. You didn't react at the time, so I was worried it sailed right over your head, which would have made this apology seem insane. That's why I had to call you garbage a second time just now. Did you know that people with guilty consciences are more easily startled by loud noises? I'm sorry. I don't know why that went off. Anyway, just an interesting science fact.
And no developer nodes again. WTF. Oh boy, here we go. It's, it's gonna explode it. As soon as I touch it, there's no other way to do it.
Did I accidentally fizzle that before you could complete the test? I'm sorry. Go ahead and grab another one. Oh, no. I fizzled that one too. Oh well. We have warehouses full of the things. Absolutely worthless. I'm happy to get rid of them.
Alright. Let's brings this down. Right. Am I on the right? Yep, okay. there's a way to get it out. I just don't
Every
remember
test
how.
chamber is equipped with an emancipation grill and its exit, so that test subjects cannot smuggle test objects out of the test area. This one is broken. Don't take anything with you. I think that one was about to say, I love you. They are sentient, of course. We just have a lot of them.
See, it would have been nice to have a little story there on the companion cube. Just kind of reiterate that little storyline piece.
This next test
Yay.
involves emancipation.
We needed a puzzle that would demonstrate the different effects that the Fizzler has on the game. This map was consistently the one that most of our playtesters would get stuck on, and we tried various things to make the puzzle easier to understand. Originally, this room had 2 Fizzlers in it and was divided up into 3 distinct areas. This proved to be too complicated and almost none of our playtesters could solve the puzzle. We removed the second Fizzler and simplified the layout of the room quite a bit, but most of our playtesters were still getting stuck on it. We identified the problem to be the space above the Fizzler. Originally, the space was completely open, but that didn't effectively convey to the players that they needed to shoot a portal above the Fizzler. We then tried putting glass with several holes in it above the Fizzler. This was slightly more effective as players would know that the holes are there for a purpose, and would try to solve the puzzle by shooting portals through the holes. The map was still not testing well though, as players could not figure out which side of the Fizzler they needed to be on when they shot their portals. We then changed it to have only a single hole through the glass, moved down to the eye level of the player, so that shooting the portal from either side of the Fizzler would be a valid solution. This change tested really well, and we started seeing most of our playtesters make it through the level without getting stuck on it for a long time.
Oh wait, that was one. Where's the other
We
one?
originally planned to use the same emancipation grid effect we'd used in Portal 1. We were surprised to hear during several of our early playtests that players thought this map was the first time they'd encountered one. Players walked through at least one emancipation grid in almost every map. Playtesters also weren't able to report the grid's properties. That indicated to us that we needed to better communicate when an interaction was occurring. Our challenge was to create an effect that was more noticeable to players, but didn't look so solid or so threatening that players wouldn't attempt to walk through it. We chose to keep the cool color scheme and reinforce the non-threatening nature of the field by mimicking the kind of water caustics you'd find in a shallow swimming pool. To communicate that the grid blocks portal placement, we added flashes whenever the player shoots one. To warn players that the grid will destroy objects brought through it, we added a vortex effect that increases in intensity as objects get near. Once these changes went in, playtest feedback demonstrated that players noticed the emancipation grids earlier and had a much better understanding of their function.
Yay, developer commentary. Alright, I'm gonna stick to keeping it to a chapter. Oh, well, as soon as I say that, it's the next chapter. Decisions. Yeah, alright, I'll